Hey folks, allow me to start this video by saying that this Zelda theory is out there. It's on the verge of crackpot conspiracy theorist behaviour. However, I live life on the edge and am willing to test that balance to dive into this potentially insane theory which could uncover one of the biggest secrets hiding in Hyrule's overworld. Across thousands of years, we've seen this kingdom develop, change and create a lot of history, but also lose a lot of history. There are tons of environmental details, hints and lore all over the land which show us remnants of the past, and the Gerudo Desert is no stranger to this. Far and wide, the desert contains many mysterious ruins, unmarked locations, and more bits and pieces we just don't have full answers to. Even the landmark locations such as the Arbiter's Grounds and Lightning Temple are mysterious in their own right. The Gerudo Desert of the Wilds era, which is made up of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, is genuinely packed with mysteries, which I believe may all connect entirely, and in today's video, I present to you my theory titled, The Lost City of Gerudo Desert. I highly recommend that you grab yourself a delicious snack and or drink to enjoy the video with, perhaps a refreshing noble pursuit. And together, let's uncover some long lost Gerudo history. Look around. Far and wide across the vast desert we find old ruins. Some are merely stone poking out of the sand, and others are more notable landmarks such as the West Barrens, the Arbiter's Grounds, and so on. But they're all mostly buried in the sand in one way or another. Very few actually show their full structures, like Gerudo Town and the North Gerudo Ruins do. Even then, Gerudo Town has shown us that there was more below which we didn't know about until Tears of the Kingdom came out. In fact, the release of Tears of the Kingdom has greatly expanded the mysterious ruins of the desert. The Desert Rift, for example, reveals a previously completely buried trench of ruins, which we don't really know what they were for. There are also the likes of the ancient altar ruins, the prison ruins, and many sinkholes which lead to caves with, you guessed it, more ruins. So much of this feels randomly dotted across the desert, places which are rather hard to reach without a sand seal or zonai build. And it's not even a case of enemies being everywhere on the routes to these locations. A lot of the time it's just the terrain is too all over the place, and in recent times sinking in some spots to make travel possible, forcing you to go out of your way, which then does lead to enemies. So why were these locations built so far and wide in arguably the least accessible region? Between Gerudo Town, the Lightning Temple, Arbiter's Grounds, the Jail, the Altar Ruins, the East and West Barrens, along with many other smaller locations, why were they not built closer to each other in the more accessible parts of the region? There's enough room to fit at least a few in, but yet they were built in the far reaches. It doesn't quite make sense. Now, as a world lore enthusiast, this really caught my interest, so I began researching as well as brainstorming about why this could be, and also just why there's so many random ruins across the desert. My mind was instantly drawn to lost cities, ancient civilizations that have been forgotten in time, both real-life examples across the world, as well as fictional examples, but none more apparent than the examples within the Zelda series itself. For example, the long-lost Zonai tribe of Faron was arguably Breath of the Wild's biggest mystery, a group lost to time, with a large amount of ruins left behind, now mostly taken over by nature, along with many other mysterious and unexplained ruins and remains found throughout the series. Could there be something similar hiding in the Gerudo Desert's long history? I think so. You see, Gerudo Town is the only really stable and standing location across the entire desert. Its foundations and underground section hold strong in the harsh and constantly changing desert setting. Whether this is because it was built on the most stable part, or just because it's extremely well built in comparison to the rest, I'm not sure. However, it's just odd that there are so many other ruins, all seemingly significant at some point in time, as well as going off their names. A jail, a large altar, the Arbiter's grounds, a more high security level prison, and like mentioned, many other large ruins. There is of course the Lightning Temple as well, which is a bit more mysterious than the other ruins as this one has a built-in mechanic, albeit a very complex one to figure out, which raises it from the depths of the desert. Perhaps this was built to have the ability to hide the temple, or perhaps just as a failsafe in the event it does ever become buried deep below. But all of this is leading up to one big proposal I have. The Lost City of Gerudo Desert. Think about it. Sand moves and shifts over the course of time. Structures built on less stable parts of the sand could easily fall deep down. This is no more evident than right here in the Gerudo Desert. Genuinely tons of ruins, many significant ones as well, which are just buried beneath the sand, with potentially a lot more deep below them. We also see that sinkholes are capable of opening up here, making it all the more possible that there are even more ruins which we just can't see, as they already sunk down long before we got here. Even just the developments between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom tells us a lot about how little we might truly know about this place. There is only a matter of around 4 to maybe 8 years between these games at a guesstimate, and yet we discover so much which has just opened up from beneath the sand. How can we say that there aren't tons more out there? Or should I say below there? There are certainly tons of seemingly small ruins poking out from the sand, but what's to say that's not just the top of a much larger structure buried below? Nothing. It's possible. In fact, it's very possible. If we look to our real world, we see cases and theories exactly like this. Over the course of time, cities, towns and civilizations fall and rise. Their work can be lost to time and the environment. In a terrain like sand, stone can easily be buried over time and lost unless dug up. There are quite a few real-life theories about large, ancient cities being somewhere beneath our sand. Sometimes ruins are found, and they are believed to be connected to these lost cities. I am somebody who is absolutely fascinated by these stories and discoveries. Given the Zelda team's amazing work and attention to detail when it comes to world lore and environmental details, I honestly would not be surprised if a lot of these ruins were made with the inspiration of a lost city or settlement behind them. I don't know, man. It just feels odd that there are all of these landmark ruins across the desert, just dotted around, seemingly not connected. I think that is because back in a time long ago when the Gerudo Desert took on a different formation, these landmark and small ruins far and wide all linked up to form a mighty Gerudo city, spanning across the entirety of the desert. I feel even more confident in this possibility given the ropey relationship between the Gerudo and their land with the rest of Hyrule. Over the many years this kingdom and its neighbouring regions have existed, the tensions between the royal family of Hyrule and the Gerudo, particularly when Ganondorf is around to lead them, is quite tense, and at certain times, the two are completely cut off from each other, as seen prior to Ocarina of Time's events. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this Zelda theory is out there. It's on the verge of crackpot conspiracy theorist behaviour. I am fully aware how out there and mad this probably sounds, but considering what all of these ancient ruins are, and would have been in their prime, it adds up in my opinion. It just feels too odd for them to be that separated. A central core with Gerudo Town, a jail not too far but not too close, room for more settlements with the barren ruins on the east and west, and the other small ruins all across. The big main home for the altar, which was perhaps some form of worship in ancient Gerudo culture. A much higher level prison in the Arbiter's Grounds, basing it off the location, Arbiter's Grounds seen in Twilight Princess. And then of course, the Lightning Temple, the holy grail of Gerudo land. I haven't even mentioned all the extremely small ruins which are basically just bits and pieces scattered across the desert, but they definitely come into this as well. Like I previously said, they probably made up a lot of settlements and places for people to live. This, for me, is arguably the greatest mystery this kingdom has to offer. So little is known about these ruins of the desert, and it breeds so much fascinating ground to explore and dive into as a world lore fanatic, as well as open up the theory side of things and truly investigate what is now not much more than lost history. Thank you very much for watching. What do you think about the possibility of there being a long-lost Gerudo Desert city? A place 10 times the size of the more compact Gerudo town, but now long forgotten in time and buried beneath the sand. I'd love to hear if you're with or even against me, and why, along with any other thoughts you may have. Please do leave a comment down below. A very special shout out goes to my channel supporters for financially backing the channel and helping to make these videos possible. I cannot express how much I appreciate your support, and if you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout out upon joining, your name in my videos just like on screen right now, and some exclusive behind the scenes insight, then consider supporting via the links below. My socials and Discord server are also linked below if you'd like to keep up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you all have an amazing day or night, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.